What's up, everyone? Welcome to yet another exciting episode of TokeMoments. You know how we do. And today I have with me the queen of all queens. I call her a tall glass of milkshake filled with scrumptious honeycomb. Whatever it is, she is always dripping. Dabota, the queen of queens. What up, baby girl?
I'm so glad to be here.
Do you know how long we've known each other? Over 10 years.
Yes, over 10 years.
Do you remember the day we met?
Yes, I remember clearly.
At a friend's house, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you remember how we used to sit around and talk about all that's happening for us right now?
You and your laptop. After your morning show.
After my morning radio show.
You'll literally just come, fold your legs on the chair, and be typing away. And every time you say, I'm going to make it. Don't worry, you will see. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this.
It's so funny how I thought about this just the other night, knowing I was going to have you. Everything we set our minds to do, how we talked about it, we're living that dream.
Yeah.
Isn't that so beautiful?
It is.
The power of manifestation. I mean, of course, we know that it didn't happen overnight. But then you're one of those people that every time I see you attain one milestone and the other, I always remember this is exactly what she wanted to do. Mm. This is exactly how she planned her life. Mm-hmm. And look at you, girl. Being a boss chick, having your own makeup empire. You know what's so
It's crazy. You know?
I know.
It is. I remember how you used to always prepare yourself for events and events and events, never tired.
And those events, half of them was not paid. Do you remember?
But you still go. You just go. You just go. You say, Dabota. It was me, you, I think Swanky and some other people. Mm-hmm. We cannot miss this show. We have to go. Okay, we don't have to get. Don't worry. We'll go. We'll go. So determined.
I mean,
I'm not surprised, to be honest.
Oh, that's very nice of you
so
to
well
say.
For yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so
surprised.
much. You know, sometimes people see the finished product, and I feel like that is a lot of things that is wrong with this new generation. People see the finished product and compare their behind the scenes to the finished product. You didn't just wake up with Dabota Cosmetics.
No.
It came from even a place of pain, if I can say.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Because I remember when it all started and how it was almost like you're one of those people who lost it all but got it back.
Yeah. Basically, that's it.
It's so incredible. It's actually so incredible.
Started all over again.
How did that feel, having to start all over again?
For me, I think because I've seen my dad go through the same cycle where there are many times growing up, he had to start all over again. And each time, couple years down the line, we were in a far more better place. So I just had that thing in me that, you know what, as long as I keep going, I'll find myself in a better place. That wasn't the first time I was starting all over again anyways. But each time I'd find myself in a far more better place. And you know when you know you're not destined to be average.
But where did that where did it come, the strong sense of self? Because I know why I'm asking you these questions, because it's one of my biggest fears. I think it's from when I was
since I was a kid.
Okay.
I would never accept to be second best, second in line, even to as little as drama plays, school plays. If you don't make me the queen or the lead role, I don't want to be a part of it. Yes, I've always been like that.
Really?
Yeah. Even when I was in university, I went to the University of Leicester. There's this society called the ACS, African Caribbean Society. In my first year, I wasn't part of it. But in my second year, they were doing the new elections for president and all the remaining officials. And they came and approached me and said, would you like to be the finance officer? I said, no, if it's not president, I don't want to do. And they said, no, but the vice president before wants to become the president. I said, that's your business. If it's not president, I don't want to do. So 2 days to the election, I just went, registered and said, I'm going to do this. And I work with strategies. I'm a good planner.
Yeah.
And I won. I became president.
You're lying.
Yes. So it's number one or nothing.
Are you raising your daughter that way?
No.
Okay.
No,
But
because
do you think it was a bad thing?
no, it wasn't a bad thing. Also, at home, I'm the first child of my mom.
Okay.
I have older siblings, but I really do play the role of the first child. So I think that's where that comes from. But with my daughter, I allow her to just express and be herself. I want her to be who she wants to be, because the person I am today, it wasn't forced on me. I just grew up seeing myself this way, imagining this is how I wanted to be. I'd imagine myself on a stage addressing millions of people. I'm constantly wanting to take the role of leadership. It was my thing. If my daughter is not that way, I'm not going to force her to be like, I'm not a parent that will say, oh, when you go to school, make sure you're the best in your class. No.
You just want
Make
her to
sure
have
you
fun doing.
understand what you're doing and put in your best. Don't try to be the best. Just put in your best. So if you're struggling, we can identify that you're struggling as opposed to pretending that everything is okay. You know?
That's incredible. You know, I've never really heard you say that, but now that you put it in perspective, I see where that, because it's not, I mean, you even going to compete in pageantry.
Yes.
I can see how you just wanted to be a queen.
Even when I went for the pageant, in my head, I better win this because it's not in my hand. So,
Did you win?
Yes, I won. Of course, that's why I was Miss Nigeria UK. Of course, I won. I was like, I'm not going to be one of those people that will tell their stories that they went 3 times.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going 3 times. I'm going 1 time.
And you won.
And I'll win.
So would you say that fortune has always been on your side?
I guess so. But it always comes with a lot of struggle behind the scenes.
Okay.
It's never easy. Sometimes I'm rejected. Then I'll find my way back in.
How do you handle rejection?
Maybe my modeling dreams as a teenager made me develop a tough skin.
Okay.
Because in that industry,
it's cutthroat.
People are constantly telling you different things. You walk in, there's no sentiments. Oh, you need to lose weight. I don't think her nose is good enough. They just keep going on. Oh, you don't have a strong figure. Oh, they're constantly judging you. And the first few times you go for castings, you're feeling bad. And after a while, you just get used to it. You just know they're going to say something. And then social media too.
So, I never said this to you off the back, but I've never really said thank you to you, because I'm sure you probably don't remember what I'm about to share. But I remember when my divorce happened, you came to visit me at home. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And we were sat in the living room and you looked at me and said, dust this thing off your shoulder. You're meant to be a queen. You're meant to be married to a president. When I see you, do you remember? I was in tears and you were like, when I see you at the top. Dust this thing off your shoulder. And I was looking at you like, do you know my entire world is literally falling apart? And you were like, that's how you always do. My mom told me that when she imagines Toke, you don't remember?
I remember.
And you gave me such a boost in confidence on a day that I was literally feeling like the grounds were about to open up and swallow me up. And you just literally you spoke to me. So I imagine that's how you speak to yourself in your head. I must win this. I'm a queen.
I'm a queen. Even if there are 10,000 of them, I will still stand strong. Because people just want to make you feel bad. And if you know who you are, you just don't let it happen. You see so many great people just break. Words are so powerful. I don't let it get to me.
Have you?
Because what's the worst? What's the worst that can happen? I'll cry. I'll feel bad. It doesn't change anything. My mom grew up an orphan, and she used to say, if tears could make my life better, bring my parents back, change my world, it would have happened. But I learned to stop crying anytime somebody did something bad to me or whatever. And I took that thing so seriously. So I don't spend my time crying over things because it doesn't change anything. You just feel bad. So I just let it out on my own and I keep it moving. Yeah.
How do you get this? I mean, I know I've asked how the strong sense of, and you kind of explained, but we do live in crazy times. And I, as I pointed out earlier, you had your world go,
yeah,
again. And in those moments, especially as women, a lot of people have oftentimes misjudged you, just looked at you and probably just thought, oh, this one, she just wanted an easy way out of life, married an old man, just wanted to be well taken care of. And all of that got taken away from you.
But it's my right. I want to be well taken care of. I should be well taken care of. So how you see my world is not how I see my world. And that's your headache. Because it's not like I went out of my way to look for it. It came to me. Yeah, it did come to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if people know how I met him. He actually went to my security man and got my phone number. And so many times I'll bang the phone on him because he kept on saying, I'm your secret admirer. So I didn't go. I was in my house, in my little apartment in Lekki. And this man came through. Do you understand? So for me, I just felt, well,
at the time when you were marrying him, I've never asked you this. What was going through your head? Were you always that girl who thought you would marry an older man?
Yes.
I think so too. I think that even in the choice of people that you dated, because I don't remember so much of your dating life, well, because we're busy hustling and we never really had time to talk about boys. Do you remember?
I actually, honestly, at that time, believed this was my path in life. And till this day, I think it's part of my journey. Nothing would, I can't take it back. And what could I have done different? I can't imagine it in my head because it's done. So it was part of my destiny. At the time, maybe because I was angry about so many things. So I felt like, I shouldn't have. But right now, when I look back, it's my story. It's my journey. Here I am today.
Will you marry another older man?
If I meet, I will marry a good man.
Because sometimes I look at you, I don't really even see you dating a young guy or young love. I don't think you're into things like that.
Okay, maybe at my age now, I'm not really thinking age. I'm thinking more someone who would put my mind at ease, someone who is spiritually sound, someone who is kind, and someone who will spoil me. So I don't have that age. When I was younger, I felt like because, boys your age are so childish at that time when you're 21, 22, 23. So you're just thinking, I don't want to mess around with these people. I'll get somebody older. But now I'm in my 30s. I'm thinking there's a lot more. It's not about age. It's not about looks. It has never been about looks anyway for me. But there are criteria that I would like
you're the only one that
to
says
meet.
this to me. Sorry to cut you. Do you remember when I was in Dubai and I called you and I was going on about this person's looks and you're the only person that would say to me, looks don't mean, why are you bothered about looks? Why do you care about what they look like? And I used to look at you and be like, I like good looks.
Yeah, I mean, you want what you want. But for me, before I even started engaging you, of course, there's a way you look that will also be attractive to. I have to be attracted to you.
So you're attracted to.
But I don't have. I like my men to look a bit.
Let me tell you what you told me. I'm gonna share this on my podcast. You know what she said to me one night? She goes, "I don't know about okay. All these fine boys that you like to, which fine boys that they give you." She said, "I like to be the beautiful one in the relationship." Dabota,
yes.
Honestly, you should read a book on the things you say. I like to be the beautiful one in the relationship. Like, why do I want to date someone that will be competing with me? Like, I have to be the trophy.
Yeah.
I was like, I never thought about it like that.
Yes, but I'm the star here in this relationship.
I hate you so much. It's so funny how people don't know you. When people talk about you, and I'm privy to be in the room, I remember one time you came on Ebony Live TV, and when you left, everyone was like, I didn't know she was so intelligent. I was like, you guys, this girl is fucking brilliant. Didn't you have a first class or something?
I studied financial economics and I'm a trained management accountant.
Oh my God, I studied financial economics, trained management.
Yeah, people don't really like to highlight that side of me, and I don't really
But I think
mind.
that's also because you also don't mind, because you just like, I don't think you care so much what people think, first to start with. And I also think that you love what you love. Like in this conversation, you've said, I want to be spoiled. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
But we live in a society where people would hear that and think this person is shallow.
You see, even my pastor will tell you to encourage poverty is to work against godliness, or suffering, to celebrate suffering, because that's not even God's plan for us. Let's even first start from those people that would think, oh, she's being materialistic and want to be morally right. it's not God's plan for you to be suffering.
And we love to compare suffering in this
And we
country.
like to make suffering, like celebrate suffering before the achievement. No. Why should I suffer before the achievement? Why can't I just do things the right way, have a plan, go with my strategy, go through a process and win? Why do I have to tell you a sad story for you to appreciate my wins? It doesn't make sense. It's not even in line with my godliness. It's not in line with it.
It's so funny how Nigerians will sit together and what we're good at doing is when you say, I went through this, yours is even good. If you know what I went through, we like to rub minds in poverty. And I also snapped out of that frame of thinking a long time ago, like, you know what, this is not a competition. Nobody who suffer pass. You know what I mean? Because some people will suffer and not everyone's going to be rich.
Really. People really go through a lot and still suffer till the end.
Yeah, but you know what I like is, even when we want to be spoiled, we also want to have our own. I know that just like you, I love to be spoiled. I mean, come on, baby girl lifestyle is the baby girl lifestyle, but I also like to have my own. But
spoiled is not just about buying stuff. It's being nurtured with your, like, people around you can spoil you by nurturing your mind, nurturing your self-esteem, helping you to grow. That's still spoiling you, helping you, like assisting you with love, with kindness, with care. And then, yes, we then can move to the material things. Because someone can be spoiling you with all of that and you'll still not be happy and it will not make you feel fulfilled. So when I say I like to be spoiled, it's in so many ways. It's not centered to a man buying me stuff or me being able to afford things. I like people to spoil me. Like we're friends. Sometimes I post a picture, you compliment. Sometimes you post, I compliment. We support each other.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So that's spoiling each other. It just helps you feel good about yourself. It helps you in this journey of life. But I guess it's actually the people that complain, I would consider shallow-minded because you are the one choosing to narrow what it means for a woman to be spoiled as just material things. So you're the problem, not me, because you don't understand what it means to be spoiled. I know women that don't have so much, but they're so soft and easy in nature because they're spoiled. They're used to being nurtured. They're used to being taken care of. They're used to being loved. Spoiling my child for me is not about buying her stuff. When a child is spoiled with love, with compassion, and they take it out there, they begin to show people love in a wicked world. And sometimes, how it works, it will now backfire on them. They'll start showing them pepper.
And you have to now have that conversation like, no, it's okay. She doesn't want to be your friend.
Yes, that's the kind of spoiling that I'm talking about when I say it is my right to be spoiled by everyone around me, by the environment. Even the elements of the earth should spoil me, should cooperate with me. It's still part of spoiling.
Do you
That's how I
manifest
see
a
it.
lot?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm just learning this whole manifesting thing because I used to hear it. People used to say it and I used to be like, okay, manifesting is just calling those things. But I think this year also mentally, I've had a mental shift where I'm now believing in, because I've never really been lucky. I tell people, no matter what you see now, I've never been the girl who would try the cover of a corkscrew and win money. I've never won a lottery. People might be going through it and they're getting it. And when it's my turn, it's so hard. And all my life, I've always felt like God always lets me go through things. I mean, I remember all my siblings wrote jam one time. I wrote jam 3 times. I've never really had that luck or whatever. So it kind of leaves you with a daunting feeling of, I have to work for every single thing. I have to hustle. If I don't hustle, it will not be done. So for a long time, I didn't understand the power of manifestation because I just thought it was a lazy man's way of thinking. Me, in my life, if I don't work, it's not going to happen.
I don't really believe in just reciting things in the mirror and saying to yourself, oh, I'm going to get it. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. People may not really resonate with this side of me, but I'm very spiritual. And there's a way you command things. And
Please
to command
teach me on this podcast. How do we command things?
To command things is to command them with the words of the Creator.
Okay.
Because they listen, they obey, they came through His words. So you can stay in front of a mirror and say, I'm beautiful. 24 times a day. The minute you go and someone just says, your hair is not looking nice, it will just break you. You have to know who you are. You have to be able to know who you are, how God sees you, how your creator made you, what your creator expects of you. And then you can command the creations with his words. So you say, as I'm going out today, I pray that every element of the earth will cooperate with God's words and no weapon fashioned against me will prosper. I will come out on top. God is the lifter of my head. When I step into this room, I am going to be standing out. Favor follows me. The grace of God follows me. Not just reciting those poems.
Because I would just be like, appear.
No.
That's not how it works.
It doesn't work that way.
I'm learning something new. Thank you.
Work that way.
That's interesting. Thank you. Oh my gosh, I'd never really thought about it like that. You hear manifestation, and you just think you just speak a bunch of words to the universe and the universe is listening to you. I
mean, there's a standard rule of you put in, comes back out. What people call karma.
Do you believe in karma?
I know what karma really is, but a lot of people are ignorant to what karma is.
Okay. So lecture me. What does karma mean to you?
Maybe another day.
What do you mean?
Because I don't want to stir up drama.
Tell me.
Nah, another day.
Are you crazy? When am I going to get you here again? Tell me, what does karma mean?
I have a strong definition of karma.
Okay.
I don't even like to use the word karma. I prefer to use plant.
What you sow, you reap.
Reap. Yeah.
Plant, grow, reap.
Okay. Yes. I don't know about
I don't believe, let me tell you why I'm asking you these questions. I don't believe in karma. A long time ago, I stopped believing in karma. I'm the kind of person that when people hurt me and people around me are like, don't worry, they'll get it back. I never think that way. Because I feel like we live in an imperfect world filled with imperfect people. And even those imperfect people have good sides.
Yeah.
So it took me so long to get to the point where I stopped waiting for those who hurt me to get their lick back or to get what's coming. Because especially sometimes when it comes to relationships and you find women say things like, oh, he did this, he broke my heart, so therefore, it's a lie. God loves everybody.
Bad things happen to unsuspecting good people.
Yes.
Bad things happen to unsuspecting good people. That's life. Life happens. That whole karma thing, the way people see it now, maybe it's a way of self-coping and they're trying to cope with whatever it is that's happening in their life. But life happens to everybody and not everything will be favorable. And wisdom is in trying to find the reason why certain things are happening, the root, and what it's meant to teach you. How it's supposed to help you grow, as opposed to waiting for it to come back to somebody. You're wasting your time because that in itself is you judging, is you seeking revenge, low-key, calling it karma and being unforgiving. Your prayers will not be answered. There's no karma.
But you know one thing I'd like to add to that, just for those who are listening, or one thing I want to take out of that, I stopped seeking reasons why certain things happen. And that's the best thing that happened to me this year. And I'm just going to leave that with you. I feel like I agree up until the point of seeking. I take the lesson because I believe that life is meant to be lived forward and understood backwards. Now, in 2 years, I might not know why certain things happened to me. But in 2 years, I can look back and say, I'm glad that happened. Because if it did not happen, I would not be able to add this, and get that.
Yes.
And I think it had to do with loss for me, personal loss, because there's no way I can sit here and explain why the two most closest people to me in my life had to die the way they did. I have tried to sit after in therapy. I felt like, but God, they served you. That morning, they just did devotion. How do you pray at 6:30 in the morning or 6:50 and by 9 a.m.? Do you know what I mean? Was it that God was on holiday or that day you certainly slept? So I think I've come to the terms of not seeking reasons why. Because as you said, we live in an imperfect world. And people are not perfect and bad things happen to
unsuspecting good people.
So it just happened. You know, and when you look at the story of Job, for instance, he went through all that suffering and God never told him why. Like, why did you do this to me? You know what I mean? Like, you would have thought that Job was the guy who was honest, who did sacrifices for his kids every day, who served the Lord, who kept his will. And guess what? It was God who even told the devil to go try him.
It
just doesn't make any sense. So I agree with you in the karma thing. Like, I think for my own peace of mind and forgiveness, and maybe that's why people say, oh, you have such a forgiving spirit. Once I don't feel the pain anymore, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
And I think it helps me not to wish karma. And whenever people say those things, right, like, now if a guy hurts me and my friends are, I know they're trying to make me feel better. Don't worry, his life will not be better. I'm like, please, oh, God loves him too. We move on, find better self, settle down. Like, I stopped waiting for them to get their own back. Because me waiting shows that I'm not moving ahead.
Because let's even say, like in the Bible, someone like Paul, who literally wrote most of the New Testament. Paul, as of Saul, when he was Saul, killed thousands of Christians.
Yeah.
You know, maybe his karma was that he was killed brutally, so he ended. But whatever, he fulfilled, you know, something that we all live by as children of God in this day and age. But you know, there's no point trying to, like, when you say karma, like, you're not good all the way around. Like, you have your bad sides too. There's some things that you're doing that maybe karma too should catch up with you.
Maybe it's your karma.
You never know.
But sometimes I won't lie. As Timaya said, as it is with us, it depends there. Sometimes I won't lie. When some certain things happen to some people that have done us wrong, I ain't gloating. I'm just like,
yeah. You can seize your moment, but don't dwell on it. You can take it.
God forgive me. God forgive me. This has been such a wholesome conversation, to be honest, because I like the fact that a lot of people don't see the spiritual side of you and don't see this.
No, I don't even like to share.
No wise. I remember you and I can be on the phone for 2 hours.
Yes.
Do you know we talk so much?
We talk a lot, but we don't hang out a lot, but we talk, and we don't filter our conversations.
Yeah.
And when we put the phone down, you don't hear, Toke, Dabota said you were talking with, you guys had a 2 hours conversation. No, I don't hear it from you, and you don't see that side. And that's what it's supposed to be.
And we've also had some crazy fights as well. You've been so annoying.
It's okay. You can do some things.
What did I do to you? It's always you. You're always
we
so
fought over
sensitive.
tissue paper.
Bitch, I thought this is so, don't lie, you were your feelings. Maybe you were going through something at that time, and anybody who came at you left would have felt a certain type of way. Because, girl, when I said it to you what I meant, it made sense in the end, right? I was teasing you.
No.
Why are you kidding me?
I was just like, this is not the time for that.
Bitch, bye. What do you mean it's not the time for that?
It's not the time for that. What does the brand of tissue have to do with anything with somebody here?
Yeah, but we're even going to buy out the entire store. I'm saying, sis,
calm down.
You got money. You could buy it and then leave this for people who...
Leave my tissue alone!
And then you remember this long episode about how you schooled in England. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with this bitch? It's just funny how we can talk about it now.
That was funny. So he said, I'm calling you, you're not picking your cup.
Because I'm like, is this girl mad? And then you were mad about another sin that I did. Maybe you were coming to see me in the house and I didn't pick up my phone because I was working out.
You're so annoying.
Our fights are so ridiculous, Dabota. Absolutely ridiculous. But you know what I'm grateful for? It's never really anything deep or personal.
Never.
It's just maybe phone etiquette. Maybe I said something you didn't like.
Yeah.
Maybe you didn't pick up the phone when I was calling you. Yeah. Maybe I thought, and then we always just say it. It's because you said we talk without any filter.
Yes.
And there's not a lot of people that you can have that sort of connection with. You've noticed I didn't even say friendship with because we don't hang out necessarily or see each other every day. But every time we speak, we can talk for 2 hours straight and we catch up. And in that 2 hours, we edify ourselves and find a way to support ourselves through the years as well. Like everything you're doing, I find...
There's never been a time where you're not supporting me or I'm not supporting you.
Yeah.
And
I'm grateful for the support.
Me too. I'm so grateful. Like, I mean, look at my date. When you left, my girls in the shop were like, wow, like she just came like that. I'm like, it's like a sister to me.
Well, not everyone will get me like that.
Yes.
And you didn't have to ask me for so long.
No. So
and but also because I didn't want you to call me out, bitch. Because you know how you get.
Okay. You'll receive my epistle.
Oh my God. I was just about to say that Dabota loves to write epistles, guys. You can have a good time. You say something left. trust her to take it in that night before you sleep. Toke, I really do not appreciate
No, but I've stopped now.
Really?
Yeah, because I just felt like there's no time to even express all these feelings anymore.
I think that was the year
we're
I've
already
had.
used to each other. We're grown now. Like, it's been over 10 years. Like, how long are you going to be hammering somebody for something that you should know them by now? You should know people that love you, that when they do something wrong, it's not necessarily to just hurt you. They're not setting out to make you angry, you know? So that I channel my feelings differently. You do something, if I tell I'm coming now, you don't. It's not how that Toke is to behave. I bet she will call me later.
But I think that also comes with growth as well. I was saying on another episode that 2022 for me was one of the most mentally challenging years. The only thing I'm grateful for, or things I'm grateful for in 2022 is financially, I grew and lived. There was a lot of abundance. I learned the value of family. You even said that to me. Do you remember February when I was in Paris and you said, I like this new you. You're always traveling with your family.
Yes.
For a long time, I was always cool with being that cool aunt.
You remember everything. Jeez.
I do, actually. Wow. Which is why I never get into he said, she said. Never happens to me.
You remember
because I know exactly what I say to who I say it to and how I say it. So if you remix that, it's on you. Okay? So you know how I learned the value of family. Not like I wasn't always family oriented, but I was busy with the hustle, just always checking in, being the cool auntie that would just give nephews, nieces money and go. But I think that there was a shift and a journey I've been on in the last couple of years that I didn't even realize it. God was strategically removing certain places, people, and things away from me and made me focus on what's really important. But other than that, mentally, this year
was challenging.
I don't know about you.
Yesterday I woke up and I said, this year really changed me. It really changed me. But there's one thing I'm happy that I've overcome to. Well, I've done a lot of work on, which is fear of the unknown.
It used to be
because my imagination goes wild sometimes. And now I'm learning to live as each day goes by. Because I've been faced with certain things that if I didn't just, like I said, instead of crying about it, face it heads on. You know when you just feel like you've seen it all, but then more things keep coming.
Sis, how is it that you think what's that happen again? And then you just hear boom.
It's another thing. And then you go through it. So you just learn to accept that this is life and you just keep praying for strength. And you know that fear is not an option. You have to face it. You have to deal with it, especially when so many people depend on you. You don't have that liberty to dwell in, pity-party or feeling bad about things. You just learn how to get up and hit the nail on the head. Keep it moving. Find a solution. This happened. Okay, how are we working our way around this or out of this situation? And that's what this year has really taught me. I've really built strength in so many areas of my life. And that fear, I've really, really overcome that fear.
Well, congratulations. That's amazing. I definitely know that it's one of everyone lives with some form of fear, to be honest. So it's nice to see someone who faces it head on. For a long time, I used to think I was fearless. I thought I had gotten through that part of my life and nothing, anything or anybody can say to me. But I will be honest with you, this year, it wasn't even fear, it was more anxiety.
Yes, I think that's the word, anxiety. Yes, anxiety.
I hated feeling anxious a lot in 2022. Anxious,
flying.
Yeah.
Even flying, like, it's not something I talk about, but I had a very bad experience 10 years ago. When I was going to Port Harcourt.
Yeah.
And you won't believe, because of that experience, since this is year 12, I have not been to Port Harcourt. It's that bad. All
I
these
think you were on a plane that you thought, because you told me the story.
I don't even, but now, one day I got on another flight and I was sitting next to an engineer. I don't know if he's an aeronautic engineer or just a civil engineer, whatever, but he was explaining why it moves. Because he just realized that as soon as the plane started shaking, I just held his hand. this is a stranger. And I held it so tight, but he didn't complain. He just let me hold his hand. And then after, he didn't say anything immediately. He then says, this plane is moving like we're on the road, even though we're in the air. Imagine the clouds are potholes. So the bigger the cloud or the more dense the cloud, the more the car will shake. So now every time the plane is shaking, I just look out and I say, okay, we're in the clouds, we're in the pothole.
Yeah. That happened to me. I remember going for the World Cup in Brazil, and it was a chartered flight, and they had 6 pilots. 2 to go, 2 were sleeping, 2, they were always rotating. And I remember that's when I found out that they even had a whole bed in some planes. First time I found out that, because one of the pilots came out and he was having a drink and he could see that I was petrified. I was scared. And the guy said to me, I've been flying for 45 years. And I said, have you ever had any? He goes, no. He goes, it's still 0.7% safer than a car. Now, the reason why you all get scared is because when an accident happens, the amount of people that die in one go is like 200 and some people. So it's always like, you know what I mean? But then do you know how many, this is how he put it to me and it changed my life. Because do you know how many airports are around the world? Do you know how many planes take off and land hourly? You know, just look at JFK, for instance, how busy the airport is. And days and weeks, you hear nothing.
So this is another one I'm adding to it.
And then one day, you just see on CNN, like every other day, every other hour, it's not, you know what I mean? And then he said exactly what she said. The plane has generators, it can power on this. If this goes out, it can still fly on this engine. Because I was just like, and since then, just like you, every time I now got excited about what they call those things.
The turbulence.
Turbulence. I get excited about it these days. Yeah, because I now know, he said to me, that is how the planes are built for turbulence. When it's too smooth, it's not too great for the plane. This is actually what it's built for. So it helped me. Yeah. And since then, my fear of flying just went out the window, just like you. I just thought, okay, if someone can tell me they've been doing this for 45 years and they've never had any whatever, come on. It's just that once we hear it once, it's like the whole world, because you hear so many people die at a go. So it's just like, oh my God. But look at how even in Lagos, every hour, we are now seeing the arrival of...
True.
You know, so this has been such a very... I love the fact that we saved this for the end of the year, because it's almost like a holistic conversation about the year and projecting into... 2023, I'm super duper, woman to woman, I'm proud of all the things that you've achieved. I know that we didn't even have enough time to delve into, because I like people to share their how you made 2 become 4. You know what I mean? Because we live in a world where, as I said, people just look at the end parts. People just look at you now, look at me and think, oh, and they always have an explanation as to, oh, why? Oh, Toke, there's so many men funding her lifestyle. I'm like, you try it. If it's easy, do them.
People are too concerned about the amount of people that are clapping for you. They get upset about it. But when you're a real champion, you're a real leader. For me, if I did something and people were clapping, I would look, is this the devil that's clapping for me? Let me know if I should start running. If it's just the crowd, thank you. Next.
So you never
when
take it out.
When champions start to clap for you, you know you're winning. But most of the people are too concerned with 10,000 likes, 1 million likes. Why is she getting 400 comments? But we that were inside, that's not... Those are the things that hurts. You'll be surprised. They feel those things represents your value. But you, who is the person on the receiving end, you know what your benchmark is. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're looking for, what you want to get out of it. So when people are trying to rubbish your efforts, it's just... It's you. I always push it back to them. It's you. You say something bad about me. It's you. That's how you want to feel, because you can choose not to feel that way. You can choose to appreciate me, but you don't want to. You can choose to see my good sides, but you don't want to. You want to dwell on the negatives. You will dwell on the negatives to the point you want to transfer it to my child. It's you. You have a problem. I feel sorry for you.
Wow. And that's such a powerful way to actually wrap this up. This has been incredible. I'm definitely going to have you back. because there were so many things we didn't talk about just yet, and I can see them raising their hands up saying we're out of time. But I feel like you should actually, I've always said this to you, that apart from what you do online and I know you like to say less.
Yeah.
And you just like to, it's part of this queen thing that you people do in pageantry.
It's not yet time.
But you know what I was about to say,
It's not
right?
yet time, yes.
I feel like you people need to hear you more.
It's not yet time.
And I always say this to you all the time, because every time we talk, it's so funny. I walk away feeling, oh, wow, she actually said this to me and it made sense. Yeah. And I'm like, I need people to hear you more because you're very deep. You don't even know how deep you are sometimes.
Yeah. It's just not yet time.
Okay, well, we're going to be waiting when it's time. God keep all of us alive. We're definitely going to be waiting. But Merry Christmas, my sister.
Merry Christmas,
I can't believe we made it.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
TokeMoments.
Thank you so much.
I'm so proud of you. People haven't seen anything yet.
I know.
There's still a lot more. You know how you keep saying there's this deep side to me? People don't see the love that's in you. Yes. Even you don't like to show it. You always want to say that girl, but I'm just
tired
of human bug.
I'm tired of human beings. Like Dabota, I'm sick and tired of human beings. This is my look every day, all day these days. I'm just like, don't want to hear it, don't want to dabble, don't want to hear it. Please fuck off.
Don't let them change you.
I know when I went to experience this year, I spent the entire time experience crying. And people probably thought I was praying. Maybe something happened to me. Maybe I was sick. No, I was praying for healing. Like, God, there's a lot of anger inside of my soul. And I need you, because one of the things that I realized this year is just because we're trying to be adults and we're saying less and we're trying to get ahead and we don't want to get into confrontation. We're just trying to protect our mental health. A lot of us are healing from things we can't even talk about. And I hate the fact that people constantly will just misbehave and one day wake up and want to apologize. Like, why do I gotta forgive you? Like, why do I have to, do you know what it was like for me to sit in there with my feelings and have to deal and sort out my feelings because I don't want to run mad, because I still have businesses to run and I still need to wake up in the morning and still do the shit that I need to do.
You don't know what you're capable of. Yeah. Just because you haven't gone down that path where you do something so bad doesn't mean you're not capable. Somebody else has gotten there. We all have it in us. You'll be surprised that you can shoot somebody.
I don't want to shoot anyone.
You will be surprised. But you've never gotten there before.
Crazy people away from me, so I never get to get there, Lord.
You never know. So always be in the spirit to let things go.
I let things go.
Forgive.
But I think that when I let things go, but there are residual feelings inside of me.
As with all human beings.
That I need to work out for myself, not for that person. Mm-hmm. Because when I go to the place of prayer, trust me, I tell you that when people say things around me like, don't worry, they'll get it back, I'm the first to correct them. When I'm praying to God, I don't take anybody's name to what I'm bringing to God is more important to me. I don't want to have to be dealing with, and this person did this to me, Lord, fix it. I have never prayed about any other individual. I can actually say I have never. Even in the worst times of my life, when they did me dirty, I would still pray for them. I remember when that situation happened and this girl was having a baby. In the middle of the world going on in my marriage, in my room, I was praying for her to deliver safely. I prayed for that girl and said, God, please let her give birth. Let daughter and mother, there's a reason why her son is going to be born. He's here to fulfill destiny. Let this child. I put my pain aside and prayed for someone that hurt me that much.
Did so I've never been that.
She did because she wasn't a stranger. Like, girl,
okay.
Yeah.
Because
she wasn't a stranger. You know what I mean? And then people would do whatever they have to do. Because I remember there were times where, due to counsel, we had to speak, and the things she said were very unkind. Do you know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah. That's true.
Exactly.
She did.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? I was over it. Like, at that point in my life, I needed to pray for her because I didn't want anything to affect my connection with God. So I feel like it's a more me thing. It's not because I'm trying to be a good person. It's because I need my prayers to be answered so bad that I don't want to start feeling guilty. The reason why God hasn't answered is because you are still holding a midnight candle for that person.
That
causing
chapter
the
is
person.
gone.
You know
It's
what I
been
mean?
so many years.
Yeah. So
it's gone.
I never, and that's the attitude I've had to adapt over the years.
Yes.
So when I say healing, it's more for me.
It doesn't ever go away, but you learn how to deal with it, and your heart doesn't reflect hatred and anger anymore towards it.
It
it's just a chapter,
feelings. Yeah.
no feelings. It's just there. It's done. It's gone. If it didn't happen, you won't be okay now. Do you know how much you've done? Remember, I said it's you have done so much. You probably wouldn't have. It's your story, like I was telling you about mine.
Yeah.
It's my story. It's my journey.
It's part of your journey.
Like so many crazy stories or so many epic stories and journeys that affected nations and individuals and groups of people and family. That's your own story.
Part of the plan. It's all part of the plan.
The end is always victory. That's what I know.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, the end is
always,
victory.
I like to say it ends in praise.
In praise.
Always.
Yes.
Always ends. 2 years down the line, as I said, lived forward, understood backwards. You sit back and be like, okay, it wasn't such a bad deal that happened to me. While it was going on, I felt like the whole world is about to die. But now you can look back and be like, I'm thankful, that job didn't work out, that proposal didn't happen, that,
even when you're not thankful, that day has gone.
True.
It didn't kill you.
No, please don't say it too loud, because 2023, please, Lord, don't test me. I'm not a strong soldier.
You know what? Next year, please. Even last Sunday, my pastor said, please, we're not finishing this year strong. We're finishing it with ease. Soft life. I say yes. Yes.
That's what I'm. No. That's what, manifestation. That's what you've taught me today. I'm not going to be one of those. I'm your soldier. Strongest. Test me. No. I don't want no more tests. But thank you so much for making up time.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being
you. This was really, really
deep
interesting
and very interesting.
I never know. Somebody said, "Okay, we'll take it with you somewhere else." I said, "No." She said the topic.
But we didn't even get to it. No. Do you realize we didn't even get to that? Because that's why I said to you that it's always very conversational. Yes. And then you just went on another dimension and I just, carry me where I don't know. But we arrived somewhere. We don't reach here. It's okay. Thank you guys for watching. Please remember to subscribe. And of course, to all our streaming platforms, make sure you're queuing and listening to TokeMoments on the next episode. You never know who my guest's going to be. Okay? Goodbye.